Welcome to the HEX Late Show. It's 43 OG here with my man Blue Bum. How are you, sir?
Excellent, excellent. All fired up. Like, isn't it great having something to really just bring the whole community together and just get us really all just focused?
Yeah. Look, it's the SEC is suing Richard Hart, which, by the way, the first thing I want to say is Richard Hart has my 100% absolute full support. I'm with Richard Hart on this 100%. I think that this is a nuisance type thing. And I really hope that, this is able to be brushed away swiftly. And yeah, so the SEC has decided, in its infinite wisdom that it's going to go after Richard Hart and his alter egos.
I mean, just reading through that complaint, which is what it officially is.
This is what we're talking about. 27-page complaint, civil suit.
Like, the amount of mistakes and misunderstandings, like it reads like it was written by like someone doing work experience. I don't know if they have that in America, but what do they call it? They call it something else in America.
See, I'm not
intern.
sure.
It reads like an intern has written it up, and the person supervising the intern hasn't actually gone over it to actually, like, because there's things that they obviously don't understand that they've just kind of fudged.
But that's not. See, this is the thing that I'm not sure whether it's just poor legal work or it's purposefully poor to make it like there's so many bits and pieces as you're reading through. It's like, oh, that's not right. Oh, this is not right. Oh, that's not right. So it's almost like there's all this misleading language in there. There's a lot of misinformation in there, and a lot of what's in there is a mischaracterization of the technical aspects relating to.
It's just straight up errors.
Yeah, but there's a lot of issues. Yeah, that's right. There's straight up errors, but I'm not sure whether that is illegal tax. I mean, is taxpayer funds really being? I would be so angry if I was a US citizen paying tax for this sort of rubbish. Unless, of course, it's some brilliant legal strategy that I don't like. I'm just reading through it. Are they doing it on purpose?
Let's assume it is a legal. Let's assume it's a legal strategy, right? I think
just to set lots of landmines everywhere.
The only strategy would be that we're going to extort money out of this person. So we're going to whip up something as quickly as possible, spending the least amount of money and the least amount of time and research to do it. And we're going to put it out there into public. We're going to put out a press release. We're going to hope we scare the shit out of the person and that they're just going to pay us a fine as a settlement. And we're just going to be able to make a quick 27. Because that money, if they do make a settlement, that money goes to the SEC.
Yeah, it doesn't go to...
It's a civil case.
Yeah. So the second you start reading it, it's like straight away. Like the first thing I read in it, it's like it's giving away like where he lives. I'm not sure if that, I guess that's the way they do it, but I don't see how that's relevant really to...
you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised. I mean, maybe they're correct in that. But yeah, let's assume they're correct in that. I've got no idea, but
let's then you go. It reads, Hart operates through 3 unincorporated alter ego entities. Alter egos.
So I mean, I read that.
Hang on. That seems like a sneaky little lawyer trick. Okay, let's just group all him and all the other things into alter egos. So now, and this is the thing. It's like you would have to, before you even, like, as you're defending it, you'd have to start with that. You say, okay, well, it started off like alter egos. What are you talking about? This is code.
I mean,
this is code.
What that said to me,
alter egos.
Yeah, what that said to me was that they have no way of actually proving a linkage between him and any of these addresses, because there's no kind of corporation which has registered his name to those
alter ego entities.
Well, that's the other thing.
So are they?
As an actor,
Yeah.
right? I read that as an actor, and I thought, okay, well, does that mean that if I have a character and I go online and I say some certain things, I can be sued for what that character just makes up? Like, it makes no sense. Like, to call it his
entities, alter ego entities. So now contracts on blockchains are entities. Is that what they're saying? I think they're either confused about what they're writing here,
or they don't have any proof, and they're trying to tenuously insert some sort of linkage.
So these contracts,
they're trying to infer linkage.
The HEX contract, the HEX smart contract, right, is code on the blockchain, on blockchains, and validators. Like PulseChain, I checked today, has 36,670 validators currently. 36,670 validators. So that means there's 36,670 instances of the HEX contract on all of those validators, on all of those blockchains, like an instance of it on all those blockchains. So yeah, it's just confusing. I'm not sure if they're making it confusing, using confusing language on purpose, like to confuse the whole thing, to make it a long drawn out thing. It's a strategy, or they're just dumb. I don't know. I don't know, dude. Like
I think really they just have very little very little actual evidence or things to actually go on, and so they're just sort of clutching at straws. That's the impression I got.
In the US, code is deemed to be free speech.
Well, that's never been tested at the Supreme Court level.
I think,
but you would.
It hasn't been tested at the.
But no,
it's been tested in court. It's been tested in the court system, but
the code is free speech.
Yes, right. It's actually a thing. Code is free speech.
Okay, I believe you, but it hasn't gone to the Supreme Court, so it hasn't been actually.
Has not.
But you would assume it is. All it is publishing numbers to a database, a public database. Literally, you're publishing ones and zeros to a public database. Like, how can that not be considered free speech?
Yeah, I don't know. I think some of the people from the US could tell us probably. By the way, let's say a big g'day to the people in the chat. What's going on, everyone? We've got people from all over the world. You guys tune in to the HEX Late Show. We are the, I was about to say the premier Australian HEX stream. the only regular Australian HEX stream.
I reckon Somi would probably, he'd give us, he's pretty good.
So Somi is not.
He doesn't
live
do lives.
Though.
Yeah, he doesn't do lives. Yeah.
No. So until he does lives, we're safe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'd give us a shellacking. So anyway, so you start looking through this document, right? And you read here, to, like, for example, it says, although Hart claimed these investments were for the vague purpose of supporting free speech, he did not disclose that he used millions of dollars of PulseChain investor funds to buy luxury goods for himself. Now, I just want to go take a step back, and just the wording that they use here. Although Hart claimed these investments were for the vague purpose of supporting free speech, the vague purpose.
He didn't. He spelled it out. This is what you're doing. You're sacrificing.
There was nothing vague. There was nothing vague about it.
Yeah.
Richard Hart on live stream. No, on live stream, he spoke about this topic of free speech over 50 times over the course of the last 2 or 3 years. over 50 times. That's not vague. That's explicit. That's very, very, like, he was very, very pointed with that. He talked about that a lot.
Yeah, and then they're going to go argue that his actual intent was different to that. And it's like, how on earth do you improve intent? Like, I mean, sure, you can infer it, but you can't prove it. So even if everyone did believe that people were getting something for their sacrifice, it doesn't matter, because they're never going to be able to prove that intent. He literally spelled it out. This is, you're sacrificing this, and you have no. I mean, how many times did he say, "I have no expectations of work from me"?
Yep.
I mean, he's thought about this. And he's thought about this before HEX came out. Sammy.
Hey, Sammy.
Hey, how are you? Sorry, just cut in. Don't mind me. I'm listening. Go ahead. Go on.
We're talking about this the 27-page claim.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I agree with you. The burden of proof, like, if they're making a statement that he did not disclose that he used millions of dollars of PulseChain investor funds to buy luxury goods for himself. Okay, so they're making an assertion there as well that he just bought it for it. He bought all that stuff for his own personal pleasure. That was the only reason he bought that stuff. Right. So
yeah, but look, even then, it's like then they don't know that he used that money. I guarantee you, they don't know and they can never prove that he used that money. It was
from
he was mining Bitcoin. He was mining Bitcoin when it was under $100, plus buying when it was under $100. And he spent about $12 million, they reckon, on watches and cars and this diamond thing. $12 million.
Yeah.
And there's, there's $1 billion was sacrificed. So it's just like, and then they think they're going to find a linkage between, if he did use mixers, what they're going to be able to like track through the mixers? No, they're just guessing. They're completely guessing, which is, and maybe it's right. Maybe he did mix it and then spent that $12 million on watches, but you still got to prove it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
there's all sorts of stuff written here.
It's like, extortion for example, up, eh? It really is. The more I think about it, it's just them just trying to extort him for money. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's sort of, it seems like that's what their MO is. I mean, they've got things in here that, like, straight up, I don't even know what the point is. Like, for example, Hart claimed that investors who participated in the so-called staking of HEX tokens could earn an average of 38% annual return in the form of additional HEX tokens. So that's a statement. Like, yes, he claimed that, and it was a statement
and it's
of
true.
fact.
Yeah,
it's a statement of fact,
and it can be proved in the contract. That's the contract.
Yeah,
it's always going to be like that. Yes,
and I was actually thinking this, like, the average Hexican could probably defend this in court. With, like, just what they know.
Yeah, I was reading and I was thinking, you know what? People are going to get people are going to get a lesson in how HEX actually works and what HEX actually is. If people follow this, like, look through it, and the people working on this, they're going to have to get a lesson in how it all works.
Yep.
Yeah, he made a claim.
Big shout out to everyone in the chat. Again, big shout out to everyone, and especially to our friend Somi.
Hey, Somi.
Big shout out.
Hey, Somi.
Awesome.
Great to have everyone in the chat tonight.
Hey, everybody. So what a day, guys. What a day. My God, I woke up to the prices just tanking and everyone shitting their pants and people thinking they're broke. And then I read all the articles and then, I had to get my ass to work and I forgot my speakers, my headphones. But anyway, the day wasn't too bad. But yeah, I mean, I did a little bit of research and I put in a lot of chats. I found a great article, basically in reference to the coordination that was done with the timing that the SEC actually came down on Brian Armstrong from Coinbase. and then all of a sudden they target HEX. And this article goes on to say that they're targeting every crypto as a security. Because Coinbase.
Yeah, but the irony is they just lost. They just lost the XRP case. Like
I know.
The retail secondary markets. It's not a tokens aren't securities. That was the court decision. They're appealing that. Sure, they're appealing that.
That's how stupid they are and incompetent.
But it's just like, I mean, it's just their desperation, really. Now they're just doubling down. They're just going to go for it. But like,
Tangent and I mentioned this last week. We actually called, when they came out with all those lawsuits against all those cryptos. Do you remember that? Like a few weeks back, and it was like do you remember that?
Yeah. Sommy had a video on it. I remember.
Yeah. So they came out with all these against like every crypto. And me and Tangent were talking, and we're like, I think they're doing that because they know that the XRP thing is winding up, and they need to have something on the burner. They need to be seen to be doing something or going after someone. Now, what's going on with the SBF thing? Did they just drop? Did I hear that correctly? That they dropped charges against him?
They dropped all the charges of he was giving that money to all these politicians for political influence. And the basis on which they dropped that was because they said that they didn't bring it up in the Bahamas extradition or something.
Yeah.
So it looks like, I mean, yeah, of course the politicians are going to be protected, I don't think that, I think he's still up for the fraud and stuff like that. And he's also, he released some private letters that Caroline, or something like that Caroline had written to him or something like that. And so he's also kind of like maybe in trouble for trying to intimidate witnesses. So he's not out of the water. He's not out of the hot water yet, I don't think, completely. But
and maybe they're not pushing too hard because these political parties might have to give back donations, proceeds of crime, right? So he gave these.
He was the second biggest donator to the Democrat Party.
Yeah,
and he gave a whole lot of Republicans money as well.
Yeah. So if that is actual, like, if you think about it, if he's done criminal activities, if SBF, Sam Bankman-Fried, if he's if he's done criminal activities, then they'd have to go after them where all the money which was given out. They'd have to go out. So I don't think any side of politics wants that. I think there's a bipartisan approach to that.
They want their pigs in the trough.
Yeah,
hey, Paul Sachs has also mentioned that it was settled in the Supreme Court. So I was wrong about that before. Bernstein versus United States in 95. So code.
I thought
the settled code that is written by humans is protected as free speech. Oh, so thanks for the correction, Paul.
Oh, code that's written by humans, so not code,
not AI code,
not AI code. Did you see that? It's interesting that distinction is in there. That's very interesting that they've code that is written by humans.
Well, we'd have to go look at what actual language they used. Yeah.
But
also, did you see Somi put into the AI, like what kind of case has the SEC got? I think he put the indictment in or something. Or I think it was Somi or someone.
Right. And
it came back saying how weak the SEC's case is for these and these reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah. So because I went through this and I was just reading it, and it's like, for example, here it goes. For both the PulseChain and PulseX offerings, I like how they call it offerings, right? Hart urged. Did you ever hear Richard Hart call them offerings? What's this language?
No expectations from the work of others. He repeated that many times.
Hart urged. This is their writing. Hart urged investors to invest by depositing their crypto assets to the PulseChain and PulseX public wallet addresses in exchange for a promise to deliver Pulse and PulseX tokens in future. That is an outright lie.
Yeah.
That's an outright lie. There was never any promise There was never, ever, ever any promise. In fact, there was the opposite of that. It was called a sacrifice because you were sacrificing the crypto, and then maybe there would be an airdrop, maybe, of free tokens.
Yeah,
but there was no promise.
Yeah, he promised
There was
not
no
to work
promise.
on it, if anything.
He said, "Do not expect any work from me. I do not work for you."
Exactly.
Yeah, he's never, ever, ever.
I mean, he was aware of
said
all
that.
of this before HEX even came out, so he was like ready for this kind of like attack.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
think
Not
that
only did he not use the word, promise, he used the word sacrifice 121 times over the course of 40 videos from May 2021 onwards. Onwards until the I think it was around the PulseChain sacrifice time. So he used the word sacrifice. It was used constantly. There was no promise. There was always sacrifice. What does sacrifice mean to you? If you have to make a sacrifice,
you're giving up something
for nothing in return, right?
No, normally you no. I'd say that the average human
for the hope.
For that, like you sacrifice
The hope or not?
Yeah, no, normally you sacrifice things for some sort of spiritual return or some sort of
like
psychological return. Yeah, like they didn't sacrifice for no reason. Like they made sacrifice, and people make sacrifices for the greater good and things like that, you know, or the protection of other people, you know, like
some religions have like Buddhas and lucky cats, and they'll give them bread and stuff like that as gifts and sacrifices to the gods. But Richard made it quite clear that he was within the letter of the law. And that,
what's that?
Look, it's a semantic difference. I mean, in a lot of ways, like the difference between an ICO and a sacrifice. You know, an ICO is the promise that people are going to. I mean, there are semantic differences, but those semantic differences are really important. You know, like no matter what people actually expect, like we're not going to be like fools and think that people who were giving money to this sacrifice weren't thinking in the back of their brains, you know, I'm hoping to receive something that's going to go up in value in the future. But that's on them. That's totally on them. That's up to each of those individual people. And
but the thing is, sorry, go ahead, Blue Bum.
You go for it. That's cool. I'm just ranting.
So if someone can afford the world's largest diamond, they can afford the best lawyers, right? Doesn't that make sense?
I mean, the irony is he only spent 12 million out of it. Like he got $1 billion, and most of that $1 billion is still just sitting there. Yeah. Like I hope he lawyers up and just like takes the SEC to the cleaners. I hope he countersues them and like really takes them to the cleaners.
Like Brian.
To their extortion racket, you know?
Brian Armstrong's doing it. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, you know, yeah, I'm sure he can afford fantastic lawyers. But, you know, he did take on 2 lawyers the night that HEX launched in 2019. He took on 2 lawyers on live stream and did like a 6-hour live stream with them.
Yeah, I remember that.
And actually like demolished them.
Yeah, I thought he demolished them.
Really
completely.
He absolutely demolished them because they were trying to catch him in little traps, you know, and he was all over it. He was all over it. And he knew exactly what they were trying to do.
He just understood the law better than they did. He obviously understood the law better than they did. Like from someone who's just watching it as an outsider. And I would have watched that 6 months after, because I only found HEX about 6 months after it launched. So that was one of the first videos that I watched. And I remember thinking, oh, well, these guys are clueless. They're really stupid, these lawyers.
Yeah.
And they don't know, they can't back up what they're saying.
So there's a line in here that says, each of the HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX offerings involved investments of money in common enterprises with the reasonable expectation of profits to be derived based on the efforts of others. So, HEX was a finished product when it launched. It was finished.
There's
and the only way that you could get anything out of the HEX contract is if you did the work yourself. You needed to run the code. So there was no one else. Now, if you look at Pulse is a fork of Ethereum. They didn't create a new blockchain from the ground up. They forked an existing blockchain.
Yeah, they copy pasted a database.
And exactly, full system. Yeah, full system state. And then PulseX is a fork of Uniswap. So they didn't build these from scratch. These other ones, they were already there.
Yeah, I think somewhere in there they say that PulseX is actually on the Ethereum blockchain as well. We're just like, no, it's not.
Yeah,
they
do say that later on.
It's wrong.
They say PulseX is a self-described decentralized protocol on the Ethereum blockchain. Wrong. So much wrong shit in here. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So much wrong stuff.
I mean, I'd be interesting to see how if he does get lawyers onto it, because they could attack this from so many different ways and so many different. Like they can tackle it from a jurisdictional perspective. They can tackle it from just the errors in the actual thing. They can attack it from like intent and expectations. And there's so many kind of like ways that you can attack this complaint. I mean, you would think that any reasonable judge is just going to dismiss this pretty quickly.
You'd want to be, but do you know what the thing is? There's so many mistakes and so many inconsistencies and misrepresentations, straight out misinformation. There's so much in there that they've got their work cut out just correcting the nonsense.
Yeah.
They've got their work just to, it's just like almost like a tangent.
Yo,
it's like they're correcting a term paper, and it's just a really poorly written term paper, and they're gonna have to go through it and correct it because there's just so many errors. Have you had a chance to read this tangent?
Nope, don't care. Bro, I've been too bullish. I've been hitting the gym, like just to try and expend all that extra energy. I've just been absolutely just taking ice baths and fucking smashing the gym.
It is super bullish, isn't it? Especially just before the doco comes out. I mean, you couldn't time it better for the doco coming out. Like,
bro, every time
on all these Twitter threads now, we're just like, well, make up your own mind. Go and see the doco. You know what I mean? And it's just like, that's
every time I look at Twitter, every single item that's trending is to do with us, with our community.
Yeah.
It's just like we've got the entire trending list locked out. It's just absolute madness. You can't pay for publicity like this. It's not available to you. Like you cannot buy everyone in the entire world talking about your cryptocurrency. That is not something you can buy. It is priceless.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Like perfect timing. Like people can go and watch the doco and make up your own mind. What do you think? And people are going to argue about it more after they see the doco, because it's going to be ambiguous. It's still going to be if you're the sort of person that just sees it all is that he's a scammer, you're going to come out of that doco probably still thinking he's a scammer. If you're the sort of person who thinks, no, he's like a genius, you're going to come out thinking he's a genius. And there's going to be a whole lot of middle people that are just entertained, and a whole lot of hopefully outside of like no coiners and outside of crypto people who are just brought into it and entertained.
Yeah, and the thing that's making me the most bullish is just everyone's reactions, like inside and outside of the community. The community is just like, hell yeah, let's go. There's Chads coming in and just doing $1 million buy orders, like 700 grand, $1 million, just like Chad buying the fucking bottom. And then there's people outside of the community that are just like, yeah, we'll go to war with you. Let's go. Like everyone's just fired up. Like it's crazy.
So what were the spaces like, Tangent? Ty said that he'd been in one with you. I didn't manage to get to go in them today, but I imagine they would have been pretty interesting.
Yeah. It's just like everyone just coming in and just being supportive, and basically everyone except for maybe some of the Bitcoiners and NFT bros, like Ethereum NFT bros, everyone else is just ready for war. Like everyone is just ready to go.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been crazy having people from random communities just being like, yo, I might just come and buy some of this coin because this is clearly like people just looking at what happened to XRP and they're like, well, if that same thing happens, then this is the bottom. And they also see it as supporting crypto, like to send a message to the SEC. So anyone in crypto who doesn't like the SEC is coming and buying PulseChain and HEX. So it's like, it's that the enemy of my enemy is my friend thing where they're coming in and they're just like, all right, well, if we want to stick it to the SEC, we need to buy the coins that the SEC is attacking. So now it's a bit like, it reminds me a lot of those when I was on those meme stocks, like actually in the stock market, like GME and AMC and shit, where people weren't buying it because they liked the stock. People were buying it to send a freaking message. They wanted to F up the hedge funds. They wanted to send a message for the people. And now we are like, we've always said that we're the people's chain and we're the people's coin, but now we actually are seen like that to the people that are outside of the community as well. So the broader crypto space now sees us as the city to meet up against to do the staging area for the war against legacy. That's what's up.
So, like back in the day when the SEC first brought a complaint against XRP, like pretty soon after that, XRP pumped to like huge, yeah.
Well, first it went down. First it went down, and then because I'm not an XRP fan, I actually don't know the chart off by heart. Sammy's going ghost mode again.
Sorry, is it annoying?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I've actually got this blurred background that I think looks cool, but also makes mine real jittery because I think it must like, maybe I need to tell Restream to actually use, because this computer's got a badass graphics card in it, and I obviously think it's not using it for this shit because look at how like, I don't know, maybe it just looks weird at my end, and then on the actual stream, I'll go and check.
Actually,
I'm not a expert on the XRP chart, but I know it definitely dumped when they got sued.
Okay, I saw a stream and someone was saying it pumped soon after that, but it might have just coincided with the whole of crypto pumping, and the SEC thing didn't have so much of an effect. Yeah,
look, like while I appreciate all the XRP army coming to support us, like emotionally, verbally, all of that, financially, I appreciate all that shit, but I think there are a lot of differences that put us in a much, 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 much better position. Much better position. Not the least of which being we don't have founders and ex-founders who are relentlessly getting unlocks and dumping the price on retail. Whereas their chart was literal relentless dumping from before the lawsuit, just forever. Like so we don't have that shit. And we've got genuine DeFi, whereas theirs was not. It was central. Their shit was sent like, so yeah. Don't get me started, but there's a lot of difference that put us in a much better position. I'm bullish. I'm very, very bullish.
Well, I bought today.
Same.
So did a lot of others. It was a really good buying opportunity.
I mean, you could see it on Deck Screener. Mofos were buying, yo.
I bought HEX on both chains. I bought Pulse. I bought PulseX.
I've been waiting for more of a dip.
Pretty much everyone I've talked to has been buying.
I might have missed it. I don't know.
Pretty much everyone I've been talking to has been buying.
Yeah, it's good DCA.
And I heard that the 14th largest PulseChain wallet capitulated and dumped their whole bag. So
really,
it's one less whale. Yep. So one less whale or one less whale-sized wallet. Surely top 14 would be a whale.
Depends if you're talking about staked or liquid.
Yes.
Just I don't know.
Top 14 would be a
Pulse,
whale.
not HEX. Pulse.
Pulse.
So nothing to do with staking. Top 14 Pulse wallet. That's surely a whale, right? So that dude out. That dude is gone. Bye-bye. So, yeah. So You know, look, and the other thing I was saying to people in the Twitter space is we've had a full cycle of people being able to wake up. So everyone who could potentially find out about this and decide to just giga dump has already, theoretically, excluding maybe small numbers of people who are on holidays where they don't have phone reception or like internet or something. But the majority of people who are going to dump off this news event have surely dumped by now.
It's only day one, though, Tangent. I mean, people go away.
But how long are people going to wait? Like, why would you wait? If you're gonna panic, be like a paper hand panic boy, why would you wait for day two?
That's what lettuce hands do. So
yeah, they go out straight away. Yeah.
But
So
5.6, that was my target price for PulseChain. That was my buy price, but I thought it's never going to get down there.
But were you expecting an event like this?
No, but I knew from a long time ago. We're after all the Twitter accounts getting subpoenaed and everything, and then all backing off. I knew that there was something going on, and I was just waiting.
But I thought that was about HEX.
No, yeah, it was about HEX. I think they were trying to get Richard for anything they could. That's why they were doing investigation, asking questions, asking streamers, did they receive profit? Subpoenaing Twitter accounts. They were trying to get him any which way they could. And this matter isn't even criminal. It's a civil matter. Anyone could do a whistleblower's report with the SEC for an investigation. So I
honestly don't think they could have picked a worse target for them to have a chance of winning, because you've got
they stuffed up
a highly educated,
badly,
like high intelligence, highly knowledgeable, it's literally the worst target. And while they're at their weakest point, like they've just got curb stomped by a coin that isn't decentralized. They look the fool, they act the fool, and then they come after the king. This is like a court jester that just got his ass beat by the plebeian outside, coming in to take out the king, who's got like fully armored guards and shit. It's like, what, dude? Are you drunk? What were you thinking? Of course you're not even going to make it into the chambers, bro. What?
All right, I'm going to make a prediction. Gary Gensler is gone before this lawsuit is gone.
Oh, well, that would be typical, right? That he doesn't, that he bites off more than he can chew, and then just like exits before the shit,
and then just leaves. And then there's not going to be the will within the agency to pursue it hard after that.
You just reminded me of something else that makes me bullish. We get to be one of the coins that actually gets, because it looks like they're never going to actually release what they do and don't think is a security. They're never going to release guidance. They're trying as much as possible to not do that. But when they come at you, it forces them, it doesn't force them to do it. It forces the courts to do it for them. So we're actually going to be one of the coins that people are going to be confident is not a security after we whoop their ass.
That's the nice thing.
That's giga bullish, and we'll be one of the first. So think about this in generations, like not in human generations, but in generations. These things like what Richard Hart calls these epochs, like in these crypto epochs, we're going to be one of the first coins or one of the first sets of coins to be fully legitimate.
Yeah. Hey guys, can I share something from one of my chick crypto groups?
Yeah, do it.
We're all chicks, and I won't dox her because she's one of my cool mates. But we always shitting on Gary, and she says in a message, "I have to share a parking garage with little bitch Gary from the SEC sometimes. He's so hated that every single she works in the same building." She said he is so hated that every single car that parks there has to be bomb swept and searched every day, every car all day long. Guess who pays for that?
Jesus.
Are you serious?
Seriously?
Yeah. Serious.
Wow. That dude must be living in fear big time.
Yeah, he must be.
Full on.
There'd be people. I was talking to someone tonight, and they said they're surprised he's not dead yet. And they'd be surprised if he's still walking around after this thing with HEX and Richard Hart.
Look, guys, I think that while we all like to joke around, the people in crypto are actually like, we care about humans for real. Like we care about human life. We care about ethics and shit like that. So while I know that people in the crypto space are ready for war, it is in the ethical, non-violent way, right? Like crypto is the peaceful revolution. It doesn't require acts of violence for us to win. So if anything,
we usurp governments by making them irrelevant.
Yes, yeah, exactly. We peacefully replace them. We don't actually. So that's their shit. The acts of violence. That's how the governments behave, and that's how they. And that's because that's the only way that they can get people to do what they say, is because their shit is so ridiculous and their shit is so inconsistent and illogical. The only way that they can get people to follow their dumbass rules is by force. We don't need that shit because our shit's amazing. We just go, really, hey, look at this awesome shit. And people are like, hell yes.
Yeah. Our shit has the laws like inbuilt already in it.
Exactly.
It's like it's all there. You don't need
the code
any
is the
external
law. The code is the law. Yeah. You
exactly.
don't need people. You don't need men with guns to force people to get on our team and use crypto. That's exactly right. So he doesn't actually have anything to fear from physically, but that sounds classic.
Even though they sweep his cars for bombs and stuff.
That's actually classic of people. Like that's probably his own internal self-guilt because he knows he is doing so much that is wrong, and he knows he's wronging people. So he's creating that narrative in his own head that he's got something to fear.
Yeah, but I reckon it's all to cover up his hanky-panky with SBF and Caroline.
They must have received threats, lots of threats, because they take that stuff seriously, those threats seriously.
Well, that's why they bomb sweep the car. But I honestly reckon this is all to cover up his hanky-panky with Caroline and SBF and,
Oh, what? You mean hanky-panky?
No, I think she's talking.
What kind of hanky-panky are we talking about?
In a professional conduct, not in a.
Oh, well, how professional was it? Okay. You got,
do you know what I thought? I thought he was like
43 thinks that he was robbing around to that apartment that everyone lived.
43 got excited, but what goes on with rich people who've got an endless supply of money? They want to, impress this Gary Gensler. What went on there? Something went on.
Oh, so you were talking about that type of hanky-panky.
Whatever hanky-panky happened, he's guilty of it, and that's corruption. That's corruption. And this is a big thing that's going on with the SECs because they're corrupt. And
Gary Gensler is in bed with the Democrats. That's his protection, and so he's got to help protect his masters.
SBF donated crypto to politicians, to parties, to political parties, and I think he's being protected because of that. Because if he's just like thrown to the wolves, like what's to say that he doesn't like disclose discussions he had with politicians or disclose this and that? Like who knows? So they have to and plus he's got a lawyer mum and dad. So I bet you their shit is tight. Their shit is like stitched up tight.
Wait,
I bet you
the truth eventually comes out. This is the.
So how do you reckon Richard plays it now? Like obviously he's gone quiet since this came out. Does he put out a statement, or does he just remain quiet? It's going to be quite intriguing, isn't it, as to how he plays it now?
Maybe.
I think it's also important for him to know that he has the support of the community.
I think he'd see that on Twitter. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty obvious on Twitter and YouTube. Hey, like,
it's nice for him to hear it as well. It's nice for him to hear it. You know? Not that he's going to hear this, but
I think you're right. I think you're right, 43. And I mean, I put out an "I love you, Richie" tweet today, just letting him know that to keep his chin up and hang in there. It is so important. And, you know, as a community, we should just shout out a small tweet, tag him in it. Doesn't you might still get ignored, but
And you know, if this is just a straight up extortion, like I wouldn't blame him if they could have come at him with a settlement of a fine, and it's just a slap on the wrist. I would not blame him at all for just going, well, I just make this all go away very easily by paying the money. Like, I'm dealing with a corrupt system. Like, I wouldn't blame him for doing that. But in my heart, I fucking hope he fights it. Like, I hope he like countersues and like basically just I hope he embarrasses them.
well, you know, if he's going after all crypto and everyone sits back and takes it up the arse,
then they just keep doing that, don't they?
They're going to keep doing it. You know, I mean, SBF practically begged Gensler to take.
When this is over, whenever this is over, and I'm seeing like a victory for our side.
Oh, dude, the victory lap's going to be insane.
I'm going to somehow, like in an intro, have Richard Hart twerking like on Gensler's face, like somehow have that in the intro, because I think that would be appropriate.
That'd be funny as. But yeah, well, you know, Brian Armstrong suing the SEC is taking a stand not only for his own company and his best interest, but for all of crypto. We're all going to be behind Brian.
Do you know the basis of why he's suing them? Like, what's the actual? It's a civil. He's suing them in civil court, obviously.
Well, yeah, because they
never defined anything. They never. He would go and say, "All right, how do we want to go? We want to register this thing," and they're like, they wouldn't give him any guidance on what to do or how to do it, or if he did register it, then they'd go after him for having. It's got to do with.
I know all that stuff happens. I'm just wondering what the actual official
non-clarity
kind of. No, you can't.
This is
a non-clarity.
No. I'm saying that's what they were doing. They were not being.
Like maybe
clear.
It's extortion or something, hey? Like suing them for extortion.
Shouldn't we be able to look it up,
guys?
So
guys, none of that shit matters. None of that shit matters. Gary has done us a massive fucking favor.
He actually has. Thanks, Gary.
A massive favor.
You actually, Gary. I mean, that's the irony, isn't it? The more they fight, the more they just pump us up, and it's like it hardens our armor, and like it's just gonna get us more eyeballs.
Freddie Quotes needs to do a diss on Gary Gensler so hard. He needs to do a diss track, like a whole diss track on the SEC. He has to do a diss track and then diss Gensler.
Little Bubble already did
Freddie.
Did the Eminem cover where it was anti-SEC. That's fairly recent. Have you seen it? It's really good. Like I'm not saying Freddie shouldn't do it. I'm just saying Little Bubble does.
Freddie does his own stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Freddie does original stuff.
I know.
Not. Yeah.
Freddie's the coolest rapper in crypto. You know that. He really is.
I agree. And I state that all the time. I'm just saying, if you want to hear an anti-SEC crypto song without Freddie having to go and make one, there does exist one by Little Bubble at the moment. Bluey, you just reminded me.
Can I ask you a question? Tangent. Can I ask you a question quickly? Mm-hmm. We've never seen Little Bubble's face.
I believe that's true.
Little Bubble? Are you Little Bubble?
Because he
it just seems like something.
He is from Australia.
Something you would have.
He is from Australia.
So it just seems like.
Who would say he was a mate of yours? I would have guessed he's a mate of yours.
It seems like something you'd have in your wardrobe. That like.
Tangent's Little Bubble in the
No, whoa. Before we go starting rumors, remember that he's in bed with Binance and shit. Do you guys think that I would do that? Like go and be buddy with?
Is he?
Yeah.
Isn't he sponsored by 1inch?
Got hired to do the Binance birthday party, and
okay. Well, that's It's not really
did like a DJ set. I love the fact that you guys believe that I am capable of that kind of artistic expression.
You know, I thought there was a really interesting video that Somi made like about a week or two ago, and it was his theories on why Richard Hart has not been live streaming, and he compared it to, there was some game, and I can't remember what the game was, but they had like the first, second, third, fourth editions of these games, and then for like the fifth edition of the game, the people who made the game, like they completely changed a camera angle within the game. And when it came out, everyone just like was hating on it. Like, oh, it's the worst thing. Why are you doing this? But it actually bumped the game up to a completely another level because of all the attention that it drew and all of the controversy over like changing this kind of camera angle within it.
Are you talking about a virtual camera? Like as in, so it's
in a game, yeah.
So it's a digital. It's the perspective that the game is viewed from.
Yeah. And people who've been used to how the game was were all hating on it, and thinking, oh, they fucked up and all this sort of stuff. But then when it came out, it actually ended up, because they kind of differentiated from the previous 4 versions, it actually bumped the game up to a new level, and the controversy around it and stuff like that. And he was saying that like Richard went, like when the doco was starting to be made, that's when he really went into, and he stepped into the outrage marketing phase. And he told us that. Like he told us straight up, I'm stepping into being the outrage marketing, and I'm doing this in order to try to punch through to the mainstream. And it worked. Like you still see people on crypto Twitter playing those videos of him with all their bags, just laughing at what an idiot he is. And it's just like, you're so being played. You're so being played. But it's so it worked. But now he's gone, okay, that's done. The documentary, he played it for the documentary. He played up that character for the documentary. That's in the bag now. A Hex Machine, Resident Evil 4. And then now he's moving, he's changed the perspective. He's changed the game. Now he's going into humble Richard. Like he's and all of us have been kind of like,
and the other guys,
where's the live stream? We're all missing live stream. The live stream is why it's done so well, blah, 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 blah. But he's just like, and Richard is a game player. Like he was an expert game player before he got into crypto. That's how he views the world. And that's how he views to manipulate the world. He's like playing it like a game. So now we're going, and now with this SEC, it's just bumped us up into the big leagues. Like this SEC and the doco has it, and Richard not streaming at all, and now he's going to be really hard to get anything out of him at all. And all the mystery now comes in. Like he's doing a bit of a Satoshi almost problem. He might even just do a Satoshi. We might not hear from him at all.
I'm thinking down the track there's going to be some big interviews.
Yeah, that's what Buck was saying on his Spaces the other night.
Well, you would think, hey, I mean, if Joe Rogan or, you know, like, what's his name, the Value Entertainment guy, or if someone like that rang him, you'd think that he'd be doing those interviews. Like if we could team up one of those really big ones, you think that would bring him out. Maybe he's just like not going to do anything small anymore. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe he's waiting, which Claz brought up an excellent point on Ladies Discourse. Maybe he's coordinating it with the movie so that when people watch the movie and get into PulseChain and HEX, they're going to get in really cheap. And then he's going to make more people rich because that's what he wants to do.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think he's playing at that, like in terms of what the price is. I think he's just along for the ride as well. I know everyone in the community thinks that he's somehow manipulating the price, and then a lot of our people outside think he is. But I'm of the opinion that he's letting the price run, and it does what it does. And
he's definitely not manipulating the price.
Yeah.
Bluey, you're one of your best friends here. The guy with the bucket on the head.
How you going, bro? Swallow, mate.
Dude,
we are excited. We are excited. We've
we're
stepped up into
excited,
the
mate.
big leagues, mate. This is like going to take HEX to the next level.
This is what Bitcoin wishes it had.
Absolutely.
My camera gave up on that frosted background. All good. Yeah. So, yeah,
Dude, that hex light in the background. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
that's
Is
dope.
that new?
My you know the chick that I talk about on Twitter that I'm friends with in real life, Eve. She got that for me.
Cool.
Shout out Eve. Give her a follow on Twitter if you guys are keen. Illegally Eve. Yeah, she got that for me from a shop. I think it's called Neon something or other or some shit. And it looks sick.
They had that.
No.
They had that in their
That
shop.
was my
Or did
reaction.
they make it?
That was my reaction as well. I was like, wait, what? Like maybe she sent them the logo and then they custom make it or something.
Oh, really?
Maybe.
Hey, AB,
That
hey,
looks sick,
DG
dude.
Cryptomatic.
I did ask the same question and then I probably just wasn't listening when she answered me. I do that a lot. No, as
And
in,
you'd be able to personalize it, guys. You got to think outside the square, you know. She personalized it.
I don't do it to be rude. By the way, is that hex logo the wrong way around? Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah, shit. That's the wrong.
That's down to the left. That's why we've been going down for so long, mate.
Big shout out to everyone in the chat. What's going on?
Yeah.
Wait, you know what? It must be on the other type of on Zoom because I set that up like that when I did that interview with All In Crypto. Also, by the way, so you guys, did I tell you guys that I went with Walrus and Crypto 7 onto All In Crypto? It's like a broad, like a crypto channel that's outside of our community, 50,000 followers, and did a talk to him about, he interviewed us or he asked us questions about PulseChain and HEX. And it was really good on YouTube. So it was pre-recorded. It was really good. We did such an amazing job of representing HEX and PulseChain and Richard Hart. But you guys are just going to have to trust me on that because he put it up a few hours before the SEC thing happened. And when that happened, he took it down. So
he took it down.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah. He took the video down. I think he was worried about. I'm not sure. I'm not sure his exact reasoning, but it was up for a really short period of time, like maybe just like single digit hours. So some of his followers would have seen it, and obviously I'm a little bit disappointed that he decided to take it down. He said he might put it back up once shit calms down. So maybe in a few days or a week or something like that.
Yeah.
But I hope it does because it was really good. We were literally on fire. Like he even said that he was really impressed and happy with our responses. Like it was really good.
Do you know what are his concerns? Why did he take it down? Did he tell you?
I can't remember, and I'd be doxing if I started reading his DMs. But
who knows?
Reading
But
his DMs
if you're someone who doesn't know about the whole background, and you just see that happening, and that's why a lot of people dumped. They think, okay, it's just going to go down and down and down. I don't want to tell people about this now because that'll be getting people in, and then it will just continue to go down.
Yeah, I guess it's
that's probably what
it's risk mitigation, right? Like he doesn't want to have a video about coins that could theoretically, in his opinion, he doesn't know they could be heading to zero. So the
irony being, if they actually do their research,
it would actually be the best time to buy it. Yeah. His followers would be praising him like a king till the end of time.
In 6 months. Yeah,
it would have literally been that video would have been coming out. People would have seen it and they would have gone and bought the fucking bottom. But you know what? It's whatever. That's all. Hopefully he does put it back up though. It was really good.
Yeah, and look, this space is full of all sorts of scams, and you do, feel like a certain responsibility to your audience, so I can understand.
Yeah.
That concern.
Yeah, I'm not upset at him. I'm just upset at the situation and the timing.
He might put it up when the movie comes on.
And also the amount that we nailed it, man. It was like, afterwards, I thought to myself, we literally could not have done a better job of representing Pulse and HEX and Richard Hart. We literally, I mean that. I don't think we could have done a better job. We fucking nailed it, man. We fucking nailed it.
It's super tricky. It's super tricky when you have so much information. And it's kind of like you can tackle it from so many different ways and in so many different from so many different angles.
That's exactly what Seven and Walrus and I were talking about. But we're like, oh man, to pitch that level where it doesn't sound like we're being patronizing, but it also can get the message across to people that might not know. Pitching it at that right level and covering enough so that people take it seriously. If they're technically minded, they understand that it's good tech, but they also don't get like confused if they're not that tech. And we did an amazing job. We did.
And I was listening to one of the highest of stakes interviews with the directors. I can't remember whose channel it was on. Maybe it was Mind Your Biz. Maybe it was RH Max.
Discourse.
You know, what's up, Crypto 7?
Yeah.
But maybe he would let us. Is 7 in here?
But the thing is, what they said was that the hardest thing to do was to explain crypto in the doco. Like that was easily the hardest thing to do.
To normies.
And even because they tested it on audiences. And even when they simple it down, they dumb it down to the absolute max that they can.
And people are like, I don't get it.
People still don't get it, you know? It's just like...
But I think it's almost like they're choosing not to get it. They're like, I don't get it. But they actually get it. They just think they don't get it. Do you know what I mean? Like...
No, I think it's so out of people's wheelhouse that they don't even...
Okay, let me rephrase what I just said. Let me rephrase what I just said. I think that they actually don't understand money at all. And so it's not that they don't understand crypto, it's that they don't understand legacy money. Yeah. And so if you don't understand money, then how can you understand a new type of money? Because you don't you don't have the base knowledge to So I think that's more the point.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just had a thought I might pitch to Crypto 7 that maybe we should ask him, hey, if ultimately you decide that you don't want to put this video up, can we get the B-roll and make our own version of it and put it up? Do you know what I mean? And we could, if he wanted, we could even offer to cut all of his bits out. So it's just me, Seven, and Walrus. And
I mean, really, it's like that video
it's
to our
definitely
community
not as good for awareness.
It's redundant. It's just redundant. You know, I just think this video's got so much replayability, man. With the way that we handled it, it was so good.
You guys could do it again. You're on that level. You can do it. You've had plenty of practice. You guys could just, if you guys were together, put in like a live stream together, you could recreate, maybe not try and recreate it, but you guys together, you obviously had chemistry from the sounds of it.
You'll get
it would happen
you'll
again.
Get better at it. You'll get other opportunities too. Yeah. And it's totally right what you did. Like stepping outside of the HEX crypto bubble we've really started doing that, more and more.
I think I would need someone on the stream who is actually not familiar with HEX and PulseChain. Otherwise, I would feel like I'm being rude. If it was just me, Seven, and Walrus, and I'm like explaining the basics of it, would feel like I'm being rude to them. Do you know what I mean? Like it was really good to have him there as the like, hey guys, I'm here to learn about this thing. Break it down for me. So, but I guess that role could be easily replaced. It's all good. I'll message Seven.
Hey, so we on Ladies Discourse got to meet the directors and producers of the highest stakes on Saturday. Cool. Yeah, Claz and me, and Georgia and Raquel and Miriam. So yeah, it was really cool to meet. It was Patrick, Grant, and Caitlin, who was really good just to have a chat to them about the movie coming out and, crypto and Richard Hart, what he was like in real life. And they didn't give away too much because obviously they can't, but they're super excited about the movie coming out just as we are. I believe 11 different states are sold out. And I know that Freddie sold his show out, RG3 sold his show, Big K, and there was someone else. But Miami,
And-
they're having like a red carpet event.
It's going to be so long until we can see it. Like, I just don't know when I'll be able to get to see it. It's going to be really frustrating.
Yeah. I'm going to have to stay off Twitter.
Like, everyone's going to be talking about it. It's going to be all
people
this
are gonna,
stuff.
yeah, people
And
are
we're just
gonna,
going to be like,
they're gonna wreck it. People are gonna spoil it. They're gonna be like, blah blah blah. They're gonna like, yeah. I'm gonna have to stay off Twitter.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
man, yeah, the
we
spoilers are
might
gonna
see
be
the black
wild.
market. We might get to see the black market version and hear someone eating popcorn on the black market.
One of those cam jobs.
camcorder jobs. Yeah.
I jokingly said that someone should go in there and live stream it from their phone to the conference. Because you know how the conference runs over those exact hours. So we just have part of the conference is just like a cam job off someone's phone.
Someone would.
Oh, people would definitely be down to do it, but I don't think the movie team want that to happen.
For real, when do you guys reckon we're going to get to see it in Australia?
Well, it's on their horizon. It's what I think that's on their plan to get it out all over the world, out the States. Once it's out in America, then they're going to follow suit to the rest of the world.
I'm so bearish on anything related to crypto that's coming soon. I'm like, it's not happening anytime soon.
What do you mean?
Like any like event or anything, whether it be code coming out or this movie, if someone says it's like, oh yeah, it's coming, it's on the horizon, it's like, oh shit, this thing
is that just PTSD from PulseChain though?
I think it is. I think it's definitely PTSD from that. PulseChain, PulseX. Yeah. Yeah, this is true right here. Twitter just got so much fun now. Half-wits coming in thinking they know shit. Yes.
Oh, I was going to say we're trending on all categories the entire time. There's actual engagement from other communities, our community. It's like everything's hyped up. People are ready for war. The majority of people seem to be on our team. And now we share this common enemy, which, by the way, I believe was one of the main things that made HEX go up so much in price, was when everyone perceived that us being gate-kept was the thing that we were all fighting against. Like, so although that wasn't like an enemy that you can like point at, it was like this enemy in the shadows that may have been a coordinated conspiracy or like we don't know for sure, but there was something to rail against. And now we've got this common enemy, but it just so happens that this time it's a common enemy to all of crypto, bro. Like I'm hyped, bro. I'm fucking hyped. I'm so bullish.
I'm sure people like Peter McCormack is laughing now, but we will have the last laugh. Yeah, man, I wouldn't worry about Peter McCormack. The guy's irrelevant.
Well,
not
you know that all these people are coming out tweeting about HEX, right? They're telling all their followers about HEX. Tone Vase was like #HEX with the screenshot of some shit from the SEC and stuff like that. And I'm just like,
it's so ironic, isn't it?
Thank you for telling all of your followers about our cryptocurrency, bro. Like, and remember,
they don't realize that that's the game. That it's the attention game.
Yes. Attention economy. Everyone agrees. We live in an attention economy. Like, dude, it's the greatest thing ever. It's literally the greatest thing ever. Yeah. I reckon we should actually go and do like searches for #HEX and find the major haters with the biggest followings that are effectively giving us free publicity.
Maybe we should all make a conscious effort to do that after the show and comment.
And also and memes, by the way. and memes, because the memes are like, so I want to see one that's like the protector and just have it like, so because you never know what memes are going to go viral. So if everyone's just pumping out memes, we're just statistically more likely to have one that just goes through and dominates. The SEC works for us just like it's meant to be. Just like it's meant to be. These government agencies are supposed to work for us. Now they work for us.
It just made me think of like Gary Gensler wearing like a ball gag, getting whipped, working for us like a slave.
Well,
I actually think we had a thumbnail. We had a thumbnail with Gary Gensler with a gag ball once.
You guys know that I am not a merchant of theories. I typically only deal in hard facts. However, I did hear an interesting theory that this was like a 5D chess move, that Richard knew that shit was coming and dodged the subpoena until the movie was about to come out to get maximum impact.
You know, when I first saw it, it was only on Twitter. It was only a copy of of the first page, and it wasn't a link to the actual document. And so I was like, I wonder if this is real or not.
Like a fake.
And then I thought, wow.
I saw a lot of people being like, "Is this real?"
And I was like, oh, maybe this is actually a really smart publicity move by the Doco team.
Oh,
that was definitely one of my thoughts.
Yeah.
So there's a comment in the chat saying that there's a crypto banter starts in 40 minutes with Richard in the thumbnail saying he's going to jail. let me just tell you about let me just tell you something about YouTube thumbnails. I thought the exact same thing. I was going to do a thumbnail with Richard like holding the bars like behind jail, just because it's clickbait.
Dude, Ivan on Tech did a dedicated unscheduled stream about this situation. So I know he's already like pro HEX and shit and pro PulseChain, but so that it would be even more major if he wasn't already sort of part of our community and we had one of the biggest crypto YouTubers doing a dedicated stream purely about HEX and PulseChain. But it's still pretty massive. And his title was a bit clickbaity. It was like, HEX and PulseChain wrecked by the SEC or something like that. And that's a Trump. So Trump quote, can meme a man into the Oval Office. Wait, guys. That's the old Richard. He's humble now.
Yeah. Now he's got a medium-sized penis.
I was just looking at memes. Gifs of Gary Gensler. Some of them are really funny.
Do you call them memes?
Memes.
My sister calls them memes as well. I call them memes.
When you're from Victoria, they're called memes, all right?
I mean, it is spelled meme.
Can you guys smash the likes? Do me a favor.
Smash the likes.
It's a French word.
171.
We have 171 people.
You guys know how I fuck around with AI. Yeah. Hit the likes, guys. We need to fucking pump the algo more than average. So you know how I've been messing around with AI a lot, and there's the text to speech and text to video, like text to presenter kind of shit. To get them to say meme, you have to type MEEM for some of them. So, like some of them actually get it right, but to get them, so typically, because the voices typically they're just reading it out phonetically. They're not actually. But there was one where when I did MEEM, it was like meme. So I put MEME and it was like meme, and I was like, oh holy shit, what? Like, and so yeah, but you know how it goes. Get those memes pumping, guys.
So anyway, before we sort of deviated, we were going through this document, but I don't think there's any. I think you're right, Tangent. It's sort of like what a waste of our time this document is. This 27-page document,
pages, bro.
What a load of rubbish.
Have they not heard of
27
ChatGPT?
pages.
They could have just pasted the whole thing in and just be like, make it a fucking
hang
dot
on.
point list. They could have had it done in
Well,
one
Chat would have
page.
been ChatGPT would have done a better job. There's no doubt.
Oh,
There's no
dude, they
doubt.
could have used an internet connected AI and put it in there and said, correct anything that's wrong
Yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
and it would have just gone through and corrected all the shit.
Yeah.
Or you could tell the AI. In fact, I shouldn't be. Just in case
It would have disappeared. The whole document would have just disappeared.
But they could have given it to an AI and said, like, comment on this as if you are a cryptocurrency expert reviewing this document, and the AI would have been like, this is wrong. This don't make no damn sense. By the way, this whole thing's not a security, so fucking go home. Do you want to get curb stomped?
There's this. I've got to read this
the
line.
smartest, richest guy in crypto. You fucking dumbass. The AI would have been like, "This is a terrible idea. What are you doing?"
I have to read this sentence. This is from the
read it.
document. At present, Pulse and PulseX are practically worthless. That's the
what?
That's in this fucking legal document. That is in this.
So they don't actually. So they actually don't
document.
understand the definition of the word worthless.
Of value.
Like they don't understand how value works. They don't understand the subjective nature
Bluebum,
of,
what you
of
said,
worth.
Bluey,
Wow.
what you said earlier, I think is right. The first thing you said, I think is right. This was written by some sort of high school intern. At present, Pulse and PulseX are practically worthless. Legal, like US government, fucking Banana Republic document.
It's written by an
right
intern,
here.
and the
Right
boss
here.
hasn't even looked over it.
Wait, I've got another theory. They did decide to use AI, but they couldn't afford to pay for a subscription service after getting fucking wrecked from the previous lawsuits. So they've used one of those like basic like
They got Bing AI.
GP2 level AIs that just goes through and is like, PulseX is a cryptocurrency. That's like just fucking retarded shit. Holy shit, dude. That's a fucking joke, bro.
This is a good question. This is a good question from Crypto 7.
Yeah, we kind of discussed that, hey. Like, I hope he he doesn't.
Will he fight
I
it,
understand.
or will he pay the fine?
We understand if he pays the fine. Like, fair enough. You know what I mean? If that just is the easiest way to deal with it. But I really hope he doesn't.
I don't know. I think it just, if he does pay a fine, I don't mind if he pays. I'm with you, Blow. I don't mind if he pays a fine. I don't mind if he pays a fine because it just makes the SEC a 2-bit hoe.
Yeah, right.
That's what it makes the SEC. If they just will accept, they'll just accept some money and then
Can I
they
answer
go
this
away.
in general terms?
You know?
Whatever Richard decides to do is going to be like the 5D chess genius level shit. And I don't say that in the way that everyone, like heaps of people in the community think that literally everything he does is always 5D chess, even the shit that couldn't possibly be predicted because it's in the future. This is one of the things where it's not an unexpected event now. It's something that he is going to choose how to handle this shit, which now it does fall under the 5D chess, Richard Hart Galaxy Brain, taking care of business.
I mean, if he
See
is
the
playing it
difference?
like, if he is playing it like this is the attention economy, then he's not going to just pay a fine. He's going to let it drag out for as long as possible.
Well, bro, that's an interesting point that he's got the ability to become the hero of crypto, standing
and he
up,
countersues.
like slay the
He
dragon, like final
brings-
boss level shit, go up
Yeah.
and represent the whole crypto space and take down the corrupt legacy system. Do you guys know that in a hero's arc, the story can't just be winning the entire time. There needs to be.
Bro, I'm getting
Dude,
goosebumps.
I'm being deadly
Ticker tape
serious here.
parade, Queen,
Let's
we are the
fucking
champions.
go. Let's
Like-
fucking go. Bro, if you want a true hero's arc, you can't have that shit where, because he came out the gate curb stomping enemies and shit like that. So if you just keep winning, that's not a cool story that gets people inspired and lasts generations as a fucking legacy. Like, you can't be a legend. There needs to be adversity in the story. You need to have that shit. You need people thinking, oh my God, is the hero gonna make it?
Yeah.
Don't give them the spoiler alert. Like, don't give them the spoiler that we know the ending. We know how this fairy tale ends. Don't ruin it for the kids at home. We need them to actually think that there is a chance of an L here for them to actually get really, really, really pumped in the fucking ending. Dude, I'm so bullish. Did I say that yet? So
Tangent, do you
bullish,
want another case for bullish as well? So if you think about the whole picture right now, and they've just released the CBDC Fed now bullshit, they're just realizing that like they're late. Yeah, they're late to the party. We know more than them, and now they're coming after us. You know, so that's
they're
what
flailing
I
about.
think.
Yeah, they haven't got the answers, and so
they
don't know what to do.
Good point. This, you know, look, ever since, so for quite a while now, ever since what event was it where people came up with the theory that it was a coordinated attack? So going back to what was the event where there was something that happened and Bitcoiners started saying, look, this is a coordinated attack because of this, and this reason. And at the time I thought, look, that's reasonable as a theory, but obviously
mean that Operation
we don't know for sure, right? Like,
Operation
you don't have
Choke Point or
WikiLeaks
something.
leaked documents to prove that this is actually the case.
Mm.
And so, yeah, I guess the further we go into this and the more aggressive that they get, it does certainly look like there is some level of coordination, or at least there's probably counterexamples as well of how badly they fucking fumbled the bag on, and how they didn't they didn't even get their court system in line, which is meant to be, you know, those systems are corrupt. Surely they could have done a better job.
They didn't get their corruption in order.
Like, someone didn't get the memo of like.
They're inept people. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
This fight will mean they make the highest.
Yeah,
the highest.
Because the directors did make a comment in one of the interviews I saw them in saying, "We'll only make a sequel if there's a story to tell. Like, they're not just going to make a sequel for the sequel's sake."
That's what they said to us too. Yeah.
So this certainly is an extension of the story, in my opinion.
Yeah, and it's also a good reason for one of the streaming platforms to perhaps pick it up. You know, so it's that's why it's so important right now that everyone gets out to see the release at Regal Theaters in the US.
It's 2 days away, hey? 2 or 3
because
days
it's a couple of days away. Go check it out. You should tell everyone you know. There's no reason. If it was here, I would tell everyone I know.
Cinemas to just be absolute, like, hyped at the front, packed on the inside. Like,
I don't think I've ever in my life sent a message out to everyone in my contact list, like text message.
No.
I would probably do that if the highest of stakes came.
Extending yourself there for you.
You mean like a send to all?
Text send to all. I've never done that before. Have you?
I used to do it heaps, man.
I remember at one point I had a phone that had the ability to send to all, and I was like, that is a dangerous feature. That is such a dangerous feature to have on a phone. Because, dude, when I'm out with the boys, I feel invincible. I'm like, I might just let everyone know about this. And then it's like the next day you'd be like, all right, I'm now thinking there were a few people in my contacts that didn't need to know about that.
Right.
I've got people in my contacts that I have not.
I mean, it's also a bit spammy, right? It's also a bit spammy.
15 years.
Yeah, it's totally spammy.
It's spammy.
Yeah.
It's spammy.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I did it a number of times back in the day. Like it's more with emails, like just in it because it's just so much easier. It's like to just it's like,
So for
and I got
your
back,
convenience, convenience.
Other than trying to make lists and stuff like that, and like and this is back in the day before there was laws against spam as well, but. I got back a few emails of like, who are you?
Who this? New phone, who this?
Hey, did anyone bring up the Pulse abides and what he did, how he rugged?
What's that?
I saw you mention it.
Yeah, so I don't know if anyone knew this guy, and the only reason I knew this guy is because he used to hang around in HEX Australia chat. And then he started posting heaps of stuff about COVID. And I said, I warned him. I said, you keep posting that shit and I'm going to kick you out. It's crypto only. Ended up kicking him out. He used to do charting and stuff like that. And then once PulseChain was launching, he was bringing out his new coin called TPA coin, which was the Pulse Abides. So he makes a Telegram group. He has a YouTube channel. I know that he was talking to a few people about it. And then the other day he rug pulled. He got away with 85,000 in DAI. Some people lost money. And he's a Melbourne boy.
What do you mean he rugged? He
rugged everything. So he basically took off with the liquidity. He drained the liquidity pool.
So he had a whole lot and he sold it basically all, and just took out. And
then took down his YouTube.
Or just rugged the liquidity.
Yeah, and then took his.
So do you have a sack? Do you have a sack phase?
He did have a sack phase.
Oh, okay. So that's how he.
And then he took his YouTube channel down, all his telegrams. There's not a trace of this bastard.
Oh, so I did post. So definitely a rug.
Yeah, I posted it on my Twitter. I posted because a few dudes lost money, but that dude looked like a scammer from like day one. It was just that wasn't something right about him, And there was another one. He had some sister coin too. I don't know what it was, but he rugged that one as well.
There have been a ton of shit coins come out on PulseChain, hey?
And Finbear is making me laugh my ass off.
I know, right? What a loser. He'd rug for 85K.
85K,
all that work.
What a all that work.
85.
Wait, he probably could have just worked a regular job and made more money for the time that he put in. Fucking idiot. Fucking loser.
He was in the PulseChain chat for 4 years. 20,000 posts.
He waited like 3 years to make less than minimum wage on a fucking rug. Fucking idiot. No, but that still pisses me off.
Oh, he's a wanker.
Fucking broke ass. Fucking brokey. Fucking broke ass loser.
So the people who got rugged, can't they? Is there anything they can do if they know he's from Melbourne? Can they go to the police with his picture?
Well, doing that shit in Australia is a risk, man. They don't fuck around here. They take consumer protection real serious in this country, like real fucking serious.
Yep.
Oh, bullshit! They do. You know how fucking these scams go on in Australia that don't get fucking that just keep going and going and going.
Don't use the crypto
I remember
use the crypto space as a metric because it's hard for them to follow. It's harder for them to follow up on scams that they don't understand how they work. But so let me clarify that when I say consumer protection is really effective, like if you have a business and you're selling like products and services and you fuck people over, they will the ombudsman and the consumer protection agencies and shit, they work well here.
Man, have you seen what's happening with ATSIC at the moment? Like they're not going after anybody. They've been pulled up in front of these like committees, like basically, and they're refusing to give over paperwork. They're just as corrupt as all fuck, man.
What?
And like when I was in Cairns, like there was these people going around onboarding businesses to get paid with this crypto, and they got paid in crypto or something. And I looked into it, and it was this obvious scam, and I was like, like just trying to tell people, and like this has been going on for years, and then it was only like only like it was 6 months ago or something. I think they got busted, but it took years and years like this thing was going on. There are tons of scams that happen in Australia and like there's heaps of like ones where investors get ripped off. You see it all the time, and that you'd think that they go after people, but it's like they're slackers off. They're super slack in Australia against
That's
scams.
weird. That's like the total opposite of the experience that I've had with anything to do with that sort of shit. But look, my shit's only anecdotal. Like,
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, exactly, Finbear.
So-
OneCoin. That's what it was. Oh no, was it? I can't remember now.
there was some kind of scam.
I was going to say,
can't
I was going to
remember.
mention, what do you guys think of the whole
Oh.
thing and iris scanning?
Bro,
Like-
Crypto Graffiti went around. He's a Bitcoiner that creates like crypto related art. He went in his city. He went and wherever they had the posters up that said, you know, the orbs are here for you to scan your eyes this week or whatever. He just got red spray paint and spray painted, smashed the orbs on every single poster that they put up, and then took down a bunch as well. So he had like a van that in the back of the van was just filled with all the posters that he had ripped down of theirs, and the other ones that he'd left up, he'd spray painted them. And then he went into a headquarters, stole one of the orbs and threw it into a fucking river and filmed him doing it. And I'm just like,
I mean, I don't even understand what problem that they think they're trying to solve by it. Like, it just seems like straight up the dumbest idea ever.
Chain.
the
Like-
worst idea ever.
What could go wrong?
Yeah.
It's literally the worst idea ever.
Like, we have
It's the
things you can
opposite.
get-
It's the opposite of what crypto is about.
like, you can have a password. That's it. There you go. There's your identity solved.
You know, Richard actually tweeted about it. He said you do better just doing selfies with a post-it note, like a selfie with a post-it note with the date on it or whatever. A bit like, you know, when people do AMAs on Reddit, celebrities will hold up a thing. Now you wouldn't be able to do it like this because of deep fakes, and you wouldn't even need deep fakes. You would just need regular face swapping AI shit. Like, you don't even need the deep fake technology, because it used to just be like literally they just hold up a piece of paper saying, I'm Jerry Seinfeld. I'm doing an AMA on Reddit, this channel, this username on this date and time.
I just had to go. I
there.
literally, in the last few days, I've literally had to do that a number of times because I lost my phone that I had connected to a certain bank account. And to get my access back to that bank account, I had to jump through so many hoops and taking selfies of myself with like the date and then a certain number underneath. And I had to do it so many times. Like, it's just unbelievably arduous and like legacy bullshit.
Yeah.
But like,
I think that quite often when I'm interacting with legacy in every every element of it, like you go to a like any medical place, and the amount of information that you're just handing over that's going to be kept in yet another
I'm also
database.
conscious of it now.
It's but there's no way around. You've got no option if you're going to anything that's like medical or medical related. Medically medical. You've got to give them everything, and it's not a very good system. Can you guys? I mean, is there any way?
Crypto's the way around it.
Can you think of any way?
Crypto is the obvious way around it.
Yeah,
and you just have a password. You just need your seed phrase, and you store that in your own security. That's it. That's all you need.
The one I keep forgetting is that the stock market isn't 24/7. And so, like, on the rare occasions where I'm like, oh, I might go and buy like stocks of like a graphics card creator, or like I might look into this room temperature semiconductor thing or some AI stock or something like that. It's super rare. I don't buy a lot of legacy stocks, but I go and I'm like, oh, the stock market's closed. It's fucking retarded. Like, it shot, like, I keep forgetting because I'm just so used to having markets that are just 24/7 on every single asset. It's fucking crazy, bro. It feels like you're getting into a time machine and going back like a full generation of time to like horse and cart level shit. It's crazy. It's crazy, man.
Anything you want to buy on Amazon,
Yes.
24/7. Usually you can use your phone app like for banking or anything 24/7 usually. Not if you want to do like a wire transfer or anything like that. But yeah, if you want to buy stocks, I guess not, unless it's overseas stocks.
They've got aftermarket trading
for
on
that
that in some shit, but yeah, like it's not like the natural price action. You don't know it's gonna like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck stocks.
Fuck stocks. Yeah. Stonk. We've been going for an hour and 37 minutes.
So did we get through all the reasons that we're bullish? Another reason I'm bullish is the yields didn't really change in percent terms. Like I noticed like most of the yield bearing shit on PulseChain stayed the same, which is one of the reasons why people leave legacy and come to crypto is for yield, like for higher yields. So that's sick. What else? There was just, man, my day was just filled with energy and bullishness. It was just crazy.
Well, I got a huge impermanent loss on my yield farming that I noticed today.
Of course, yeah. Obviously, depending on what the impermanent loss, yes.
Because
while the
measured in
yield
terms of
stayed the
US
same, the
dollars.
impermanent loss, yeah.
Because Pulse went down, everything went down.
But first time I've actually noticed a huge difference with this huge drop.
One of the things you should note, though, is not a lot of the coins actually crashed relative. So
to each other,
coins that look like they went down
together
was because they mainly are paired. Like a lot of these smaller coins are just mainly paired with PulseChain. So when PulseChain took a hit, and Dex Screener reports the percentages in dollar terms in terms of those percentage changes. So it looked like everything had just got absolutely fucked, but it was literally just PulseChain going down and everything appearing like it went down. So if you had, I noticed that for the pools that I had where it was PulseChain and another asset, I didn't actually get fucked by impermanent loss because they actually, and in fact, you made fees because there was a lot, like there was just more volume and more activity and that sort of thing. But certainly, if you had like PulseChain with a stable coin or a coin, any coin with a stable coin, but they're not typically the ones that I go for. So I didn't actually suffer that much impermanent loss, but I imagine people would.
So, Tadja, if the price of PulseChain goes back up, which it will, does that change again? And does my permanent loss go away? Or my permanent loss just go?
Yeah, like as in, if it obviously depends on what assets you're using, but if everything goes back to where it was, then the impermanent loss is exactly zero. Do you know what I mean?
That's why it's called impermanent. That's why it's impermanent loss.
So it's just to do with
it's
just the ratio between those two assets.
Once Pulse goes back up to what I bought it for and pulled it for, it'll go back to the same
let's say as an example that it was Pulse with a stable coin, just to keep shit simple. Then if the price of Pulse in dollar terms goes back to where it was when you started the pool, your impermanent loss is exactly zero. Plus you've got all the fees and normally you would have all the fees and the incentive token, or just fees if it's not an incentivized farm. But obviously it's a little bit different with PulseX because
but also those INC fees, because that's all gone down.
Yeah.
Oh, did Bluey just lock up?
He did. Look at his face.
Can't see me.
You were locked for a little bit. No, now you're good. Now you're good. Yeah, it's all good. Like as in, so if you guys want to list off if you've missed any of the reasons why you're bullish, and I mean, I think that
I'm bullish. I've got a reason.
You can't really have anything. I think the maximum bad news for our ecosystem has now happened. Right, like this is what I call emptying the clip. Like that's they can't externally they can't do anything worse than that, right? And so internally, theoretically, there's still things that could go wrong. But in terms of ability to exert external force that creates downward pressure, they've emptied the clip, in my opinion, which means it's likely for a bottom. and I've got something for my outro, but I'll let you guys finish up.
Well, do you think it'll still be a few days until we see like a bottom, or do you think like that like pretty much the shock of it and that's it pretty much?
Yeah, well, I mean, my opinion is
like
that
we've dropped like nearly 50. We dropped 50%. We came kind of up from there, so it's about like 45% or something.
I haven't really been looking at charts, but
yeah, don't look
there
at it.
There was a fairly strong bounce. Like, I wouldn't blame people if they want to just like maybe wait a bit, but you know, there was like a really strong bounce off the initial impulse, which is always good news. And in my opinion, if someone was going to panic sell, wouldn't they? So this is just me thinking out loud. If someone was going to panic sell, wouldn't they do it as soon as they hear this news? Because they're like, so in their mindset, they're like thinking that it's over, that it's going to go to zero, like Richard's going to go to jail, and like all this fear is like they're creating this fear porn in their head, right? It's a fear porn fantasy.
But I'm just thinking there's some people who aren't on top of it as much as like we are. And so there's kind of like maybe a couple of days delayed, and people go, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna go." So,
but are you saying like they've got like literally they don't know anyone in the community that would tell? Like everyone's talking about this. Like,
maybe.
how would they? You'd have to be, dude. You'd have to be in an area with no internet reception. Like you'd have to be literally at like one of those like silent retreats where you don't have internet, you're not allowed to talk and shit.
But there hasn't even been 24 hours. It hasn't even been 24 hours.
Yeah, but people only sleep for 8. Like people only sleep like 8 to 12. So I believe that everyone has had a waking hour within this period of being able to know about it. Look, like maybe I'm jumping the gun in saying this, but in my opinion, and I'm not even saying everyone. Yes, there might be 1 or 2 people in a silent retreat. Yes, there might be 1 or 2 people that don't have any friends. Yes, there might be someone that's like, you know, there might be someone that's like thinking about it and then decides to dump or whatever. So then they're not just like immediately panic selling their whole bag or something like that. But I think those examples that we're giving, they're the minority. So what I'm really saying is I think for the majority of people, if they were going to unload their shit, they would have already done it.
Yeah, and then that's just
my working theory. That's just my working theory. I could be wrong.
If we go lower, I'm coming after you, Tangent.
That's what I've been waiting for, though. I'm like, oh, do I pull the trigger now or wait? DCA is the way to get around it. Eh? Just don't commit to any. Don't commit to any one kind of like, because we don't know.
You don't.
For me, one of the biggest positives was just the reaction of the community. Like I can imagine that other communities on news like this would just be fearful and worried, but our community is so educated,
despondent or something. Yeah,
but our community is so educated on all these things.
It united people. Hey, like that whole PX EHEX thing, it was just forgotten. Like everyone just went boom. Right, we're here. Like we've got a clear enemy now.
Common enemy.
It's such a uniting,
clear common enemy. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a good feeling because it's like also back to basics. You know, this is what we're really here for.
Sounded like the community needed it because some of the things that people were arguing about were getting real abstract, bro.
Oh, they were just ridiculous, weren't they? Yeah,
boring.
Yeah.
Hey, on a different, totally.
You are right though. Sorry, 43. I do want to agree strongly with what you're saying. The Pulse community, but also the broader crypto community has really impressed me on this.
Yeah, absolutely. On a different note that's got nothing to do with crypto, you know, in Australia, we have like a HEX scheme, not HEX, but HECS, which is the
higher education contribution scheme. Yeah.
So you can go to uni for free. Not for free.
You can borrow the money.
And
you don't have to pay it back until you're earning over a certain amount of money. But also, what I found was if you leave the country, you haven't paid back your HEX debt, then you have to report your world income until you pay off that HEX debt.
Oh, okay. I guess that kind of makes sense that they don't want people to just dip out. on their debt, on the debt.
Yeah, that's why I paid it off.
But sorry, 43,
I'm going to be free of you guys. Go on.
You were ramping up to something.
Well, I was just saying, as you guys know, I did like a course like a couple of years ago, and I just left it in, it's accumulating. I'm just paying it off as it goes. And I thought I'd go check it out, right? I look at it, and currently getting charged 7.1%, even though the cash rate is 4.1%.
What the fuck?
Isn't that like...
That's got to be illegal.
Aren't you borrowing the money? But hang on, aren't we borrowing the money from... Like, this is on the ATO, the Australian Tax Office website. Aren't we borrowing the money from the government? Like, isn't the money coming from... Why?
Bro, that's wild.
Who's getting...
No, you're not.
Bro,
you're borrowing it from
borrowing
from the reserve, the Australian Federal Reserve.
Yeah, but 43.
Okay, so why are they making a margin of 3?
They shouldn't be making.
Because
why are they making a margin of 3% on it?
Bro, it's because they know.
Why?
It's because they know they're lying about the inflation. They know they're lying about the inflation, and they don't want people to just be able, because, like, these university debts used to be the cheapest debt to carry. They're supposed to only go up with CPI. They're only supposed to go up pegged to inflation, i.e., the debt remains the same in real terms until you pay it back. But they know that because they lie about the inflation, that it means that your debt is actually going down over time. Yeah. But that's fucked up. That that is a demonstration of their admittance to the fraud that they are propagating onto the people by the fact that they have to have that rate higher than what the CPI actually is. And I remember when I was paying mine back.
It's not CPI.
It's meant to be.
It's not CPI. It's a cash. It's meant to be cash rate. It should be the cash rate.
I thought it was just.
Why are they making a margin?
I thought it was just pegged to inflation.
Make a complaint.
Why are they making a margin?
They shouldn't be. They shouldn't be, and I don't think they used to, man. I think it used to be the cheapest. I think it used to be the cheapest debt to carry.
Ring them up and ask them.
Just pay it off. Just pay it off. Get out of debt.
Yeah,
get out of debt. Out of those. Stop. Don't have any kind of like.
Yeah,
that's pretty fucked. That's pretty fucked though, because not everyone's in the position where they can pay it off. That's pretty fucked that they're like rooting over.
7.1%.
They're insipid. How they get that clause into people.
7.1% is no joke.
And it's
7.1%.
And it's a demographic of people that are only just starting their careers, so they're fucking them when they're trying to build wealth for their future life. It's fucked. That's completely fucked.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Yep. So
that's why we have crypto.
Yep. Absolutely.
Get out of debt, everyone.
And hey, remember David Feeder? David Feeder.
Of course, I remember him.
HEX got him.
Yeah, I remember David.
He got himself out of his university debt with HEX.
He's
got
a
him out.
validator now.
Yeah, it's yeah, absolutely. It's but that caught me by surprise. I wasn't expecting that.
Bro, that's crazy.
I just thought I'd check in.
Yeah,
lucky I checked. I've not checked in like a couple of years. I haven't looked in a couple of years. And I thought, I'll go check this out, because it's not like your bank account. Your bank, you see all the stuff on the regular. But this is something that I haven't logged into it for ages. So
hey, when was that?
I was a bit surprised.
Sorry, when was that banter thing supposed to start? Has that already started? Maybe we should.
Someone said 40 minutes, about probably 50
an hour ago.
Perfect. I agree with 43. We should tie this up. I'm keen. I just want to see whether he's fudding us or whether it was a clickbait promotion, because
let's do
he's
it.
Clearly invested, because he made that video.
Click the likes. Click the likes, guys. Come on.
Before you guys sign out,
subscribe to the channel.
Subscribe and click the likes.
Also,
let's get for 100. We've got 89 likes right now. Come on, let's get to. Let's get to the 100.
I just wanted to quickly mention before people leave our stream to go and watch that other stream that I'm doing a Twitter space with Beatbox at midnight my time. So that's in just under 3 hours. So roughly, we're going to start when they wake up. So it might not be exactly at midnight, but so roughly in 3 hours from now, I'm doing that. Now, I'm not into NFTs. I don't buy them. I don't trade them and shit like that. I'm literally doing it for the tech, because in this community, we actually give a fuck about the activities that others can do and the actual tech. So I think that's going to be interesting. It was one of the first NFT marketplaces to come actively onto the chain, and they also have the ability for you to see all of your Ethereum-based NFTs on their platform. So I think it'll be interesting. I think they've got an interesting story to tell about how they made it. I think they just had like a part-time dev for a month and just like kind of like whipped it up and shit like that. So that'll be interesting to talk about. And so come by if you've got questions. Come to my Twitter space at midnight and ask them. But it'll start off where I'm just chatting with the team, and then the Q&A section will be after.
Awesome.
Sammy, have you got anything?
No,
you
just
wanna...
make sure you subscribe to DeFi Down Under, and good to see everyone again. And we'll see you next week. And if it's making you sick, don't look at it. Chill.
Louis?
That's very true.
You know, like when I first got into HEX and we started streaming, I remember saying we've bought tickets to the best show in town, and it just continues to deliver. Absolutely the best show in town. And 43 and you and me, we're gonna do another not HEX stream.
Oh yeah, what's your next episode going to be about?
On Thursday. I was thinking we look at Zenify. It's a hard one to wrap your head around. It's a tricky one to wrap your head around.
We're not allowed to talk about that on this channel.
Okay.
If you want to find out about this, you need to come to DeFi Down Under on today. Well, we're Tuesday evening here in Australia, so this is Thursday afternoon. I don't know what the international, but it's on the DeFi Down Under channel. So if you're not subscribed to that, please go and subscribe to that. If you're not subscribed to Discourse Syndicate, subscribe to this, and please click the like. And
wait! Before you kill it, I was Devo that I missed that one that you guys did last with Tetra, because I actually wanted to come on and ask questions and learn about that. I've been told by someone in their team that their launch is not the end of this month; it's the end of next month. But that there is a private
31st of August, unless that was in July. He was telling you. But 31st of August.
Sorry. We were discussing it yesterday. Yeah. And so I thought one of you guys told me it was the end of July that it was coming out.
No, 31st of August.
Oh, so somewhere along the line, I either got wires crossed and got the wrong date, or someone told me the wrong shit. No blame, but I thought it was coming out at the end of this month. It's actually the end of next month. However, if anyone is keen...
It's August 1st now.
Sorry, I keep forgetting that we've changed over. Assume that everything that I just said was under the mindset of that we were still at the end of July. I didn't realize that we've just technically just clicked over to the next month. So I'll just use months instead to make it clear. Fuck it. You guys get it. Bluey just cleared it up. End of August. So it's still got 1 month left before they launch formally. And even then, you don't know for sure that it's definitely going to launch then. That's just their estimated launch date. If you are interested in joining their private beta so that you can use the shit before it comes out and help them to find bugs or whatever, obviously with only small amounts of money, guys, because it is a beta, you can go to their Telegram and you can message a guy that's in there, one of the admins, his name's Stu, and you can DM him and ask if you can become part of the private beta testing and get access.
They're not beta testing on a testnet.
No,
we're talking about the software.
Yeah.
Tetra.
Yeah, so the private beta, you'll be able to do it on chain, like real mainnet. Yeah. So if you want to be involved in that well, that's my understanding. Could be wrong. Maybe they didn't convey that if it's testnet, I'm not interested. I want to be able to use it on mainnet. So anyway, I went and asked to be a part of that private beta. I guess if you're interested and you care whether it's testnet or not, or if you don't care, whatever, just go and ask. Like, we'll work it out. And the other thing I wanted to finish on was, someone gave me an amazing analogy for all this shit that's going on. It's like Richard Hart is in his backyard building this dope ass fucking shed, right? Like he's building this fucking shit. And the SEC is like the fucking neighbor's fucking chihuahua coming along, just fucking yapping and nipping at his heels. And motherfuckers just Like, in fact, it's not even Richard Hart. It's the entire community. And we just keep building. We're just building the shed. And this annoying little fucking thing is just, you know, you might just fucking give it a kick every now and then and fuck it off and tell it to fuck
Bro,
off. But
we
other
did a
than that,
thumbnail with Gary Gensler as a dog. Do you remember? We had a thumbnail of Gary Gensler, like his head was on the body of a dog.
it's effectively like you're just largely ignoring this annoying little fuck that's doing no damage and thinks it's a big dog. It thinks it's a big dog, but it's a yappy little bitch and it's just got no bite. And it's just annoying and does fuck all, and you just tell it to fuck off and keep building.
Started.
Yes.
Crypto banter has started, guys.
Let's go.
All right, guys.
All right.
Have a good night.
See you, everyone.
Cheers.
Take care.
Peace.
Thanks for watching.